see by the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about something that most of the times when I hear about it makes me very upset. So today's video, if you're a mama, about to be a mama, you're pregnant, you're trying to be pregnant, or if you are a significant other, you should hang around and watch this video because I'm going to be talking about what happens in not in childbirth, but all the decisions that you as a mom, as a woman, have to make when you are pregnant and have to go through the whole process of pregnancy and then delivery, which is ultimately the scariest part of being pregnant for a lot of women, a lot of us. But being a significant other and being in that person's life and helping them find their ground, especially if they're a first-time mom, is so vital, because when you are pregnant it's when you are the most vulnerable, I feel like, in your whole life, because you're physically vulnerable, you're emotionally vulnerable, you're mentally vulnerable. And in times like that, when you have all these hormones running through you and making you basically hormonally imbalanced or unstable, I should say, you kinda need somebody to be there and be like, listen, you're overreacting here, but you definitely need to step it up here. And there's certain times when women are being taken advantage of all the time in the hospital, especially in the medical field. And most of the time family members and friends do these things too, but mostly in like your physician and like whoever is taking care of you throughout your pregnancy. That's what I'm going to be talking about. Finding your voice, finding your ground, sticking to what you know to be true within yourself. Because nobody knows your body and you as a person better than yourself. And once this baby comes, nobody's going to know this baby, better than you know your baby. And you'll hear so many people's opinion that you want to hear, opinion that you don't want to hear, things that you want to hear, things that you never asked for. And people just bombard new moms with all these nonsense. Some of it's good information, some of it is completely ridiculous and has absolutely nothing to do with making this mom feel a little more comfortable and a little more kind of like you got this. Instead of doing that, we kind of like say all these little horrible phrases like, oh, you'll never sleep again, or stuff like that. That is like, okay, I understand, like, you might lose sleep. You will lose sleep for the first couple of months, for the first year, depends on how your baby is. But it is horrible when you're telling a mom that is trying to find her ground, especially if you're a first-time mom. You're trying to find your ground, you're trying to find your footing, and you have these people, family members or whatever the scenario may be, coming up to you and telling you how all these horrible things are about to happen, instead of telling you, listen, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be rough, but you got this. Your body was literally shaped and formed for you to do this. You got this 100%. And instead of doing that, we're criticizing moms. We're telling mom, you can't do this and you can't do that, and your body can't do this and your body can't do that, and you should probably go through this route and don't do this route and think about this and think about that. And you make somebody that is already feeling flustered and have all these emotions running through them feel even more unstable when it comes to childbirth. Now, throughout pregnancy, most of the time everything is like smooth and running unless you have any medical issues. I am not making a video about if you're having medical issues. If you're having medical issues, you should listen to whoever your provider is, but educate yourself. Don't just listen to whatever your provider is saying to you or your doctor is saying to you, and you don't do your own due diligence, because there is a lot of different ways and different treatments for a lot of different things. So you can't, like, always talk to them and ask them questions like, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? If we go this route, what does that mean? Is there any other route that we could go through? Ask questions. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Learn to use your voice. Learn to say no. That's something that you need to learn how to say. That's something that if you're that sweetheart of a person that doesn't say no and that is always a yes and amen type of person, and you're the sweetest, kindest person. And I know so many moms that are like this. It's okay to be that person. It's okay to be. It's actually amazing. You don't find a lot of people that are like that these days. That you're a sweetheart and all you want to be is, you don't want none of that. You don't want problems. You don't want to act like you're telling the doctor to do their job or something like that. It's their job to educate you in every single step of the way. So if they're not educating you in everything and telling you everything that is going on, you should immediately start questioning, oh, okay, well, what happened? How come we're going to go this route and not that route? How come? They need to explain everything to you. That's their job. That's what they're there for. And if you still don't understand, ask them again. Even if they get mad, if they're irritated, it doesn't matter. Ask them a million times if you have to. Being sweet is beautiful until you have to use your voice. But I say all that to say this. Find your voice. That's the first thing you should do in life. With life. Find your voice. Don't let nobody tell you that what you're feeling within your spirit, within you as a person, that is not true. If you know and you seek God about it and you know it within your spirit that this is so, then that's what it is. Because nobody knows your body better than you. And yes, doctors study everything. Doctors go to school and they get their degree, and there's a good reason why they have their degrees, because they have studied a lot of things that we probably have no idea about. And I was in school to become a pediatrician until I got into a car accident. And then life and God took me in a different route. But every single person is different. So if you're feeling a certain way, you gotta let them know and help them come to the best conclusion and decision for the both of you. But there's a lot of doctors out there trying to push their agenda and schedule on especially first-time moms. Because once you become a mom, you become a lion. And if you haven't been a lion, get ready, because you will become a lion. And you need to find that voice so that when you are in childbirth and you're in labor, you can say yes, no, yes, no, yes, or no to anything and everything that pops up throughout all your appointments and throughout all your prenatal care. Let's say that you're having a healthy pregnancy and everything is healthy and you are perfect and the baby is perfect and the doctor's like, I think we should induce at 39 weeks. I don't like at your 37-week appointment or your 38 weeks appointment, whatever the scenario may be. Well, why? Why did we come to that conclusion? Why is that even a thing that is coming up? If everything is healthy and everything's going according to plan, why are we trying to induce me? Or why are we trying to schedule me for a C-section? Whatever the scenario may be, there's a lot of doctors that are very C-section happy and induction happy because it's a time set. They're like, okay, I get in, I get out. It's quick. When you get in a C-section, it's quick. Induction is a different story. Induction can last days. But you need to know that when you're going into pregnancy and you're going into this whole thing, educate yourself. Learn go find books and learn. Educate yourself so that when you're talking to these people, you're not sitting there and you're like, I have no idea what's going on and I'm scared to ask questions. Don't be scared. Do not be scared. Ask a million questions. If you need to ask the same question a million times, ask it. Don't sit there and wonder and then go home and be like, well, I have no idea what this means. Because you don't want to be there. That's when you're going to start pondering on this and pondering on that. And you don't want that. That's my first thing. Educate yourself. Know the ins and out of everything. Ask a million questions if you need to ask it. Number 2, learn to say no. Practice it. No, no, no. Smile. No, no, no. Smile and say no. No. You still could be sweet and say no. No. Do it until you have it down like if it was you saying yes. Because people will try and sway you, and you're so hormonal, and you're all over the place, and you're listening to everybody's opinion and everything that everybody got to say, that sometimes you're listening to people that have had 10 kids, 12 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids. I don't care how many kids you've had. This is my kid that I'm having. And yes, you may have great advice, but your experience with those 12 kids is going to be completely different than my experience with this kid, because every pregnancy and every baby is completely different. I say all that because this happened to me from my own like my mom and my mother-in-law. They were both trying to give me a whole bunch of different and feeding me stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's great, but I know exactly what I want and how I'm gonna do it. First of all, I had a home water birth, and they were both like, that's crazy, that's ridiculous, why will you eat? And I'm like, it's what I want. And guess what? I did. And my labor and delivery was shorter than the both of them. My baby and I were perfectly healthy. We actually enjoy our labor and delivery. And guess where I slept? In my bed. Right after the baby came out, guess where I was? In my bed. We were not in no hospital. And I have nothing. If you want to go to the hospital, that's on you. That's what you want. Say, that's what I want, and this is what I'm going to do. And there you have it. That's your voice. Find what you want, what you need. Write it down. You don't want vitamin K shot. You want vitamin K drops to give to your baby. Write that down in your birth plan. You don't want eye ointment because you looked it up and you know for a fact that you and your spouse don't be spreading diseases to each other. Sexual transmitted diseases to each other. Write that down. I don't want the eye ointment. Boom. But anyways. So this gets me so pumped up because it just literally upsets me when I'm listening to all these stories and all these moms telling me, well, this happened and my doctor kind of said I had to do this way and that he was going to schedule a C-section or that he was going to schedule an induction. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, no, you don't have to say okay to everything your doctor says. First of all, let's start there. Everything that your doctor says should not be a dictation. I can't speak. It's not he's not dictating. He shouldn't be dictating. It should, unless it's a medical emergency. That's a completely different story. And even then, you have a decision to make. But it shouldn't be a dictation. It should be a suggestion, especially if it's not a medical emergency. If he kind of wants to do an induction or a C-section, he should ask you, well, what are your thoughts about C-section and induction? Would you like one? And even though they shouldn't be recommending C-section and inductions because those are medical procedures that should only be given to those people that need it medically wise. If you don't need it medically wise, then it shouldn't be an option. Now, the other thing, so first one is educate yourself. Second, learn to say no. And the third one is positive. Be positive. Be positive. Be positive. Be positive. Be positive. So many moms, from the moment that they get pregnant, they feel one thing. And they're like, oh, it's the baby. Okay. And I'm not saying don't worry about your baby. Yes, you should. You shouldn't worry. Don't worry. But yes, you're going to be concerned. And you're a first-time mom and you don't know and you haven't experienced things. But don't let the first thing that comes to your mind when something happens be negative. And if it is, kind of rebuke it and be like, no, I don't think so. Everything's okay. Let's go find out what's going on. If something is serious and you're bleeding or whatever the scenario may be, call your provider and make an appointment and go and see your provider. But in the meantime, try to think as positive as you possibly can. Pray over yourself. Pray over your baby. Declare every single day that I'm going to have a positive childbirth experience. My baby is going to be healthy. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to have a healthy delivery. We're going to be perfect. We're going to be beautiful. Everything's going to be fine. And from the moment that you find out that you're pregnant, do that. And keep your mindset and your thinking on that note, on positivity. It's gonna be positive. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful. My baby's gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be healthy. We're healthy. Our whole experience is gonna be how we plan it. And get yourself to think that way. The more positivity you think, and the more positive you are, and the more things you declare of your life that are positive, is the things that you speak is what will come to pass. And the things that you believe is the things that will come to pass. If you believe and start panicking and saying, oh, something's wrong, the baby's not okay, I'm not okay, and I can't do this. If you start saying that thing, that's exactly what's going to be. If you start saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to close up, and you're going to black, and you're going to start blacking yourself and your body from releasing and being able to go forward. I've heard and seen this happen multiple times where the moms are saying these negative remarks, and labor will stop. The contractions will start to get not stronger, but lesser. They will start to like go slow. They slow down, and your cervix will like be opening, and then it'll stop at a certain amount. But if you start saying I can't do it, and you start picturing, especially when you're in labor, if you start picturing your cervix open, and I'm like, okay, I'm at 10 centimeters. Just keep saying that to yourself. I'm at 10 centimeters. I'm at 10 centimeters. I'm at 10 centimeters. The baby's coming. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. You will, and you will be able to do it and get through it, just like that. That was the third thing. Just decreeing, declaring, and just speaking over your life and your baby's life that everything will be fine and that everything will be great, and it will be great. The last two things that I will say, besides the first one that I said was educate yourself, finding your voice, and learning how to say no. What did I just talk about? I can't remember. The third one was positive thinking. Yes, positive thinking. See, my mind is all over the place. Positive thinking. And then the last one, I think, is eating healthy. Having a healthy eating routine and eating as healthy as you can, and doing some type of movement. Even if you only walk for 30 minutes in the morning and like 30 minutes in the afternoon. Getting some type of movement. Just don't sit around and lay in bed all day. All of that has to do with having a positive and healthy childbirth experience, and having a very supportive spouse or family members that you can rely on and trust. That is also so important and vital, because sometimes you're gonna get cuckoo and you're gonna start acting like, oh my god, and they could be like, listen, everything's gonna be okay, let's just practice our breath and breathing right now while we are pregnant. Just, you sometimes are gonna need that. You're gonna need a supportive spouse, and if you don't have that, that's the reason why I want this channel to be, because maybe you could come here and talk to me, and I will talk to you, and we could scream at each other like I'm screaming in this video, because I get passionate about this, and it honestly upsets me, because childbirth and the whole experience, yes, it's painful, yes, it's gonna hurt, like nobody said it's not going to, but it's so beautiful and empowering. I felt like the most powerful woman while I was giving birth to my daughter. Crazy, I know that sounds crazy, but I never felt so strong. I felt like I could conquer the whole wide world. And after it was all done and I had my baby in my hand, I was like, you are so worth it. I will go through the whole thing a million times if I had to. I mean, thank God that my experience in my labor, my labor was only 4 hours. I've heard of stories of women going into labor for days and like being in labor for days in the hospital. But that's what I want for all the mamas. I want you all to be like, this is what I want, this is how it's gonna be, and this is how it's going to be, unless there's any medical reasons for it not to be. And I want you all to feel empowered and strong and happy and supportive throughout your pregnancy. The experience that I had, I want excuse me, I want every mama to have. Anyways, that's what I had to say today. I just had to get that off my chest. I might make more videos like this. I might share my birth and my labor and delivery with my daughter video. I might have some friends share theirs and how their hospital experience went. I don't know. Let me know. If you have anything to say to me, write it in the comments. I'm going to be reading those. But yes, just, you got this. You got this. Can nobody tell you you can't. You got this. Okay. I feel better. I'm gonna go now. Be safe. Stay out there doing what you do best. See y'all.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah.